Hey guys, my name is Amir and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. So this is part 2, as promised, of the MCAT series, and I am this time filming with another student. We're from another city, and hopefully you guys get a good idea of what the national MDCAT is like, and hopefully you guys learn something from these two videos. And obviously, if you like the video, make sure you like it. Make sure you comment down something below. It really means a lot to us, reading your nice comments. And if you think it's worth a share and worth a subscribe, make sure you do so. And yeah, let's continue with the video. Today, I'm joined with Abbas. He's a junior of mine at the Medical College, and he's in the batch of 2025. So Abbas, if you want to introduce yourself.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abbas and I'm from Multan. So my academic intro would be that I've done my O-levels from Bloomfield High School, Multan, then switched to FSC, Multan Board, and right now I'm studying at Aga Khan University.
All right. And do you want to mention where else you got in university-wise?
I applied for Government Medical College of Punjab, and alhamdulillah, I got into King Edward.
All right, so that's amazing. King Edward's best government college, pure Punjab mein probably, if not maybe Pakistan as well. So his MCAT score was quite up there to get in. All right, so let's continue with the discussion. So the first discussion point I wanted to talk about was the national MBCAT, how unified is it, and all of that. So pichle saal, if I'm not wrong, I talked about this in a previous video as well. They unified the syllabus, but despite the unification of the syllabus and despite having a national MDCAT, students were complaining about how there were XYZ amount of questions that were out of the syllabus. So Abbas, did you notice that? Did you think there were questions out of syllabus? And what do you think? What did you think about that?
Yeah, there were like 14 questions out of the Punjab syllabus, like the FSC syllabus of Punjab. I don't know about Sindh. I think Sindh mein to usse bhi zyada the. And even MKBK or Balochistan. So it was different for different provinces. Because in the end, आपके जो intermediate का syllabus है, it's not the same. Books में material different है. So what I think the unified syllabus is quite not possible right now. अगर 2-3 साल और दिए जाएं तो पहले intermediate का syllabus unify किया जाए, उसके बाद है I think national MDCAT का हो सकेगा. But national MDCAT is a great idea. Like पूरे पाकिस्तान का एक ही test, so it would be merit based.
Yeah, and everyone is equal playing field, same books, same everything. So let me continue with talking about this year's paper pattern. So is saal, it is 3.5 hours long. There is a total of 210 MCQs. There is 68 biology, 56 chemistry, 56 physics. There is 20 English, and for something that is new to everyone this year, there is 10 logical reasoning questions. And in the MCAT, there is no negative marking, and the passing is 65%. So let's continue with the subject-wise discussion, which is probably the most important. So biology, I mentioned it quite a lot. It's my favorite subject. It's the easiest subject for me. Did you feel the same? And if you want to talk about the books, the notes, any resources you used during your preparation, yeah.
So what I think that MCAT biology was pretty simple. Like I personally use Punjab textbook only. So Punjab textbook is like academy notes uske upar hi likh lena, so that I have all the stuff like at the same page. So मैं जब book पढ़ूंगा तो in the end सब कुछ ही पढ़ा जाएगा. अगर मैं अपने academy के stuff ही note कर लूँगा. So I went to academy तो उनके lectures और जो extra stuff होता था वो book पे note कर लेता. लेकिन but I think कि पंजाब textbook for MCAT आपके intermediate के syllabus से है, MDCAT के syllabus. So वही same book अगर आप पढ़ लेंगे तो that would be enough. For biology मैंने तो सिर्फ इतना ही किया था और it was pretty easy, like MCQs पढ़ना शुरू किया.
All right, that makes sense. And what about notes? Did you use any particular notes you want to talk about for biology?
No, not really. Academy notes, like I wrote them on the book और फिर उन्हीं को बार-बार पढ़ता रहता था.
Same.
Like, and headings वगैरह.
Right. So we talked a lot about biology. So the next topic we can talk about is chemistry. So was it the same for you? Did you? Is there anything different about chemistry you want to talk about?
So for chemistry, I used Punjab textbook and like academy notes. So I made my own academy notes like on a register and उसको दोनों को बारी-बारी पढ़ता था. Like पहले I would go through the book और फिर मैं notes में जाता था और फिर important points note करने, because chemistry में कुछ चीजें conceptual भी हैं और कुछ चीजें रट्टा भी हैं. What we call it in Punjab, so रट्टा. तो रट्टा में ये आता है कि आपको याद करना पड़ता है वो सारा, like the reaction stuff. Yeah. So वो मैं important points में लिख लेता था और वो याद करता था और books से like करना और even some of the YouTube videos कुछ important topics के लिए जो मुझे समझने होते थे. जो high yielding stuff था.
Yeah, so I agree. Annotation is a very important thing. Gathering information from various sources, whether it's Google, books, MCQ answers, YouTube videos, gathering them and then jotting them down onto your textbook. And yeah, that's perfectly, that's probably the perfect way to study. I agree. All right, so we talked about chemistry and physics. Now, physics is probably a very difficult subject for many. Physics may, other than perhaps the books and notes you used, can you also talk about constants and values? Did you have to remember them? Did you think they were important for the National MDCAT?
So I personally wrote them all the values of constants and different formulas on a single page और last day पे उसको सारा पढ़ना क्योंकि we were taught कि ये आएगा वहाँ पे आपको ये memorize करनी पड़ेंगी इनके बगैर solve नहीं होगा और I don't exactly remember शायद कुछ questions में वो पूछे भी गए थे इस साल का मुझे नहीं पता versus syllabus लेकिन हमारे time पे वो included था तो वो याद करना था और for physics, mainly I relied on notes, my personal notes, जो मैंने different जगह से बनाए थे, which included books, academy lectures, YouTube videos. वो सारा collectively I wrote them down on a register और फिर उससे से पढ़ना बारी.
सही. So like 2 साल का मेहनत in one register, like probably.
One.
All right, that's amazing. I can't do that personally. काफी मुश्किल होता है maintaining a note. All right, so yeah, physics में I think. I personally, MCAT के लिए I'm not too sure. Like, for example, if you are also taking the AQU entry test, I know for a fact that AQU entry test में you do not have to remember particular constant and value. They are either given or they are they are very basic values that you probably should know over the 2 years of studying for FSC A levels. So yeah, physics you relied heavily on your notes. All right, that makes sense. Chalo, let's move on to English. English mein, so English, it's a very hit-miss thing. Did you study for it? And did you think the questions were hard? What would you say about English?
Achha, I did study for English, लेकिन what I realized कि MCQs are pretty simple, तो इतना पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं थी. We were taught like vocabulary and stuff के सारे synonyms याद करने different जो words दिए जाते थे पहले MCAT में. इस साल का I don't know about that कि क्या उन्होंने दिए हैं वो list नहीं दी. So उस टाइम पे दिए जाते थे और उनके synonyms याद करने पड़ते थे लेकिन in the end in MCAT paper I think spellings पूछे हुए थे उन words के. So when I thought कि मैंने time ही waste किया था English में मैं वो कहीं और के subject पे दे देता. लेकिन it was pretty simple और जो grammar stuff था वो बहुत basic level पे था. लेकिन there are some exceptions in English कुछ grammar rules में exceptions आती हैं. So I studied for them, I noted them down जो exceptions होती थी क्योंकि journal rule तो सबको पता होते हैं. लेकिन जब exceptions आती हैं तो वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा problem होता है कि अब इधर क्या करना है. So I noted them down और वो पढ़ने लगता था English में mostly.
So I'm not too sure myself. लेकिन शायद if I'm not wrong, maybe the PMC syllabus इस साल has specified the amount of comprehension wala MCQs, the word MCQs and perhaps the grammar MCQs. So if you're watching this video and if you're taking the MCAT this year, make sure you check that out. It's on the website in PMCs. So yeah, English, I personally agree with you, Abbas. I would say considering there's only 20 MCQs, it's important. Lekin I think without studying, you will, if you can understand our conversation abhi, so here your English level is that level to get at least 16 out of 20, I would say.
17. Yeah, I wanted to add that कि इस साल क्योंकि it's comprehension, so it's unseen. तो उसकी I don't think कुछ तैयारी होगी.
Yeah.
Like you should rely on your own self कि आप कैसे करना है. Comprehension is pretty simple.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of the time English is you either know it or don't know it at all. इसमें there is no calculation भी नहीं है. You either go there, you know it or not. So it's not worth studying for as much as you think it may be. All right, so yeah, now we can move on to logical reasoning. So logical reasoning is completely new. It's something I didn't do, something you didn't do. Like in Abbas, I think you mentioned how you had some juniors who were talking about making the studying for the logical reasoning. So if you can share it here.
So I talked to a couple of juniors के logical reasoning कैसे कर रहे हो क्योंकि they told me कि जो AQ की logical reasoning है, PMC's logical reasoning is quite different from it. So they are practicing the papers of nurse test जो उसमें logical reasoning आती है. I think PMC specified 5 different categories of logical reasoning के इन्हीं में से आएगा. So it's really simple now कि आप 5 categories को देखें जो nurse के test में हों या फिर online कुछ even they mentioned some online sites like Hits Bullseye, something like that कि उस पे वो practice कर रहे हैं और some Indian sites उन पे वो practice कर रहे हैं. So right now, even academies and the students don't know कि किधर से करना है. लेकिन what I feel it's pretty basic stuff like innate ability होती है बंदे की कि कैसे एक logic apply करनी है. It's not that hard कि आपने अब उसकी कोई तैयारी तो हो नहीं सकती. Like just you have to apply logic उधर ही. You can look for the pattern के वो questions कैसे आएंगे. और what I feel कि वो PMC ने कोई sample paper दिया है जहाँ पे वहाँ pattern होगा. तो अगर वो pattern देखें तो आपको समझ आ जाएगी कि logical reasoning के questions आएंगे कैसे. So उस तरह I think आप कुछ practice कर सकते हैं. कुछ A levels का भी आपने subject है thinking skills. People use that for AQ test.
Yeah.
So like I think ये कर सकते हैं लेकिन उसकी ऐसे तैयारी नहीं होती.
Agreed, 100% agreed. Of course, to familiarize with yourself, like you mentioned, there are various websites. There is recently MedAngle is launching their pre-med platform, so we'll be up check kar sakte hain. It's probably going to be linked down below. Like Abbas said, on the spot, wahan jaakar you will see the question, you will use your logic, and then you will answer. So basic stuff hoga. Highly doubt it's going to be super hard. And on top of that, there are only 10 MCQs. All right, so let me just summarize quickly the sciences and English and LR. So biology mein you primarily did your Punjab board. Chemistry mein bhi you primarily did Punjab board. Physics mein you accumulated notes from various sources, made a note, compiled a note on a register, and you studied off of that. All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And English mein you studied a list, but you felt it wasn't too much, it wasn't worth studying. Logical reasoning, we don't know. And just before we move on to the next question, I just have one question. Why didn't you do federal board? Why didn't you study anything other than Punjab?
So, personally, I knew about Punjab textbook books. Like मैंने उन्हीं से FSC में 2 साल पढ़ा. So I was quite familiar with them. अगर मैं कोई नई book उस time मतलब लेता like federal board की, so it would be tough कि फिर से एक नई book को पढ़ना और पता नहीं होता कि क्या चीज़ कहाँ पे लिखी है. और इवन 2 से 3 मंथ्स के टाइम होता है MCAT में और इस साल तो इवन 1 मंथ है अभी रह गया. So इसमें आप अगर एक नई बुक को टच करेंगे तो घबरा से जाएंगे, परेशान हो जाएंगे कि व्हाट्स दैट. कि इवन आई नो सम पीपल जो A लेवल से जब MCAT में FSC की उन्होंने बुक्स देखी थी, so they were like इसको हम कैसे पढ़ें अब. So it's quite new. लेकिन अगर आप अपनी बुक्स को चेक करें तो उस पर भी हो जाएगा क्योंकि ये it's a unified syllabus. So in the end जो मटेरियल है वो सेम है सब बुक्स में, but like quantity of information different है. कहीं पे कुछ टॉपिक ज़्यादा एक्सप्लेन है, कहीं पे कुछ टॉपिक कम एक्सप्लेन है. I was comfortable with Punjab textbook books क्योंकि मैंने उनसे पढ़ा था, मैंने उन्हीं से पेपर दिए थे पढ़ के. So I was like कि अब मैं फेडरल बोर्ड क्यों टच करूँ जो पंजाब बोर्ड से बाहर आना नहीं. लेकिन in the end 14 MCQs आ गए थे बाहर, but some of the MCQs got cancelled. like ऐसे हो जाता है. I think इस साल अल्लाह ना करे हो इस तरह, and they will be successful वो अपने unified syllabus बनाने में. So I think
पिछले साल जल्दी में बनाया. They very haphazardly formed the academic board. Jibran Nasir put a petition. ये कोर्ट का मसला भी चल रहा था, तो इसकी वजह से they were in pressure, so they weren't able to do it. लेकिन इंशाल्लाह हाँ, like I think hopefully successful होगा इस साल. Probably, hopefully it's unified and equal for everyone. So let's move on to the next discussion point, and that is did you go to coaching? You mentioned you used some academy books, I think. So do you want to share which coaching you went to and any advice if for or against coaching center, if any?
So I went to Stars Academy Multan campus, and my personal experience was quite good. Like they really coordinated with me, and even the worksheets and stuff were really good. Like you get a book bank of a coaching. कि जो उनका book bank already कितने साल से होता है, they give access to that, और फिर practice करना and then paper solve करना. You know how to manage time. The coaching में even आप घर में करेंगे तो that's not the right environment, what I feel. लेकिन कुछ लोग कर भी सकते हैं. In academy there's an environment कि जिस तरह सारे बच्चे कर रहे होते हैं, you get like उसके साथ आप easy हो जाते हैं कि वहाँ भी ऐसे ही पेपर करने हैं, वहाँ भी ऐसे ही पैटर्न आएगा, इसी तरह के पेपर स्टाइल होगा. And academy was like schedule बना देते थे. That was the first thing कि आपकी थोड़ा easy हो जाता था. You don't have to make a schedule for you on उसके आप खुद बना रहे हैं. और academy का मेरा personal experience अच्छा था. Like in FSC in Punjab आप भी कोई concepts में खास like develop नहीं किए जाते, but जो MCAT academies वहाँ पे हैं उनके lectures but quite good. Like मुझे तो मदद मिली थी उनसे कि अपने physics या chemistry के concepts सही करने में. For biology the lectures were quite okay. मतलब अगर वो नहीं भी लेता तो biology हो जाती. Even for English they did help.
अच्छा, English के lectures भी होता है?
Yeah, English के lectures भी होते थे for grammar and stuff. लेकिन मोस्टली वो ग्रामर का लेक्चर काफी लंबा होता था और इंडियन MCQs were quite helpful. जो इंग्लिश के वो हर लेक्चर के एंड में कुछ MCQs करवा देते थे और फिर कॉन्स्टेंट वर्कशीट्स देना, डिफरेंट MCQ सोर्सेज आपके लिए ढूंढना. सो माय एक्सपीरियंस वाज गुड. लेकिन इस साल क्योंकि 1 मंथ है बट आई थिंक अब एकेडमी लेक्चर्स देने का टाइम तो नहीं रहा, आपको खुद ही तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. लाइक अगर मैं सेकेंड ईयर का स्टूडेंट होता जो फ्रेशली MCAT देने लगा है, सो मैं खुद तैयारी करके पहले फर्स्ट ईयर करता, उसके बाद सेकेंड ईयर, देन 5-6 days फॉर MCQ प्रैक्टिस, उसके बाद 4 to 5 days फॉर रिवीजन. क्योंकि एकेडमी लेक्चर्स अब लेने लगे तो आपका सिलेबस कब कवर होगा? जब हमारा टाइम था
इश्यूज लाइक
4 to 5 months.
कुछ sorry to cut you off there, लेकिन कुछ academies कराची में I think they provide crash courses. We will cover the whole syllabus in XYZ amount of days. ये भी provide करेंगे, ये भी करवाएंगे. Like so, people panic, you know. So I think not only students, their parents also panic, and their parents say you should join. So if a parent is watching this, listen to what Abbas is saying. I personally, I agree. If you are joining at the start of the session, at the start of the year, us waqt shayad guidance, scheduling, weekly tests, monthly tests, question banks wo jo provide karte hain, that is very useful. And on top of that, I guess the guidance, the WhatsApp group, the Facebook group jo banate hain, that is very useful. Once again, it really depends on the student. And in your case, you were quite happy with Star Academy, right?
Yeah, Stars Academy.
All right. So you mentioned you went to coaching. So I'm assuming they provided you with their question banks. Uske alawa, did you use any other question banks, such as I think Nearpeer has an online question bank. MedAngle is now introducing a proper question bank. There is NOMS past paper. There's so many MCAT question banks. Did you use any?
Yeah, I used Nearpeer, and then question banks of different academies of Punjab, like KEPS, STEPS, and online question banks bhi aa rahe hote the. They were like certain groups jo MCAT ke liye the. Wahan pe kuch question banks aate. My aim was to solve maximum MCQs. In the end, that's what matters. Like मुझे तो जितने भी मैक्सिमम एक टॉपिक से रिलेटेड MCQ मिलते थे, I would solve it. कि अगर मैंने ये टॉपिक पढ़ा है, so I'd give me half an hour, कि आप half an hour में जितने मैक्स आप MCQ सॉल्व कर सकते हो उतने करो. It's not like you have to solve 100 MCQs, 80 MCQs. It's like कि टाइम लिमिट दे दो, इतने लिमिट में you have to solve maximum MCQs. और फिर जब मुझे नहीं आते थे, I would take screenshot of them और फिर उसको रख लेता था अपने फोन में, और in the end last day पे क्लियर करना, एक टीचर से क्लियर करना, या फिर पर्सनली गूगल करना. So इस तरह your concepts develop. Like I would say that was MCQ based learning or something like that.
Yeah, that's what we do at AKU quite a lot. So yeah, I agree. Compiling MCQs, doing as much MCQs, whether it's from any resources, as long as you know the basic concepts, so you can probably solve it. All right. So Abbas, you mentioned how there is less. Hopefully this video, if there's no issue again, this video gets uploaded in the first month of August, and the MCAT is scheduled to take place 31st of August onwards. Yani there's less than a month left for those who are scheduled to take it early September. So I personally would say, I would agree with you and say, okay, MCQ. No, pehle first year, second year, then MCQ, then revision. That's like the perfect plan. But is there anything else you might want to advise, considering the time there is now?
So I would say that don't panic, be consistent. Like I have seen certain people जो आखिर में आके कि मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है MCAT, मुझसे नहीं पढ़ा जा रहा. Like be consistent is only 1 month. उसमें एक अपना schedule बनाएं, उसको follow करें, get your sleep. Like ज़्यादा थके ना. ये कुछ लोग होते हैं जो पूरी रात फिर पढ़ते रहना कि like it's 1 month. In the end, वो चीज़ें जब मैं अपने personal experience से बताऊँ तो जब मैं कुछ ऐसा कर रहा होता था वो मुझे समझ ही नहीं आ रहा होता था. So मैं तो सो जाता था कि फिर अच्छी तरह उठ के दोबारा पढ़ूंगा, क्योंकि अगर आप अच्छी तरह पढ़ेंगे तो MCQs भी सॉल्व होंगे आपसे. और बट आई फील कि अगर आपने प्रॉपर ब्रेक्स नहीं ली, प्रॉपर रेस्ट नहीं लिया, तो फिर आपसे MCQ सॉल्व नहीं हो रहे थे, एंड यू पैनिक कि मुझसे तो हो ही नहीं रहा. और मेरे साथ ये हुआ था पर्सनली, लाइक मिड में जो हमारा सिलेबस चेंज कर दिया गया था, सो मैं ज़्यादा काम करने लग गया और उसमें फिर ये हुआ कि MCQ सॉल्व नहीं हो रहे थे, एंड आई वाज लाइक MCAT इज सो टफ कि मुझसे MCQ सॉल्व नहीं हो रहे. लेकिन अभी जैसे 1 month रह गया, बी कंसिस्टेंट, बी फोकस्ड, हो जाएगा. MCAT is not that difficult. MCAT को जितना हाइप किया जाता है, like हाँ it's career defining moment, लेकिन फिर भी like stay determined. But I would say that.
I agree. And like you mentioned, I forgot to mention this. लेकिन पिछले साल in the middle of the session, I think. So initially PMDC was the authority, and they were conducting provincial MDCAT like normal. लेकिन अचानक से PMC came into effect. And achanak se they threw out a syllabus and said this is the syllabus of the national MDCAT. So students like Abbas, students like every other students from last year, they had to switch and they had to decide suddenly. Like, unfortunately for you guys this year and for students who are taking it next in the upcoming sessions, there's nothing to worry about like that. You are given the syllabus, so you mustn't panic. That is the number one thing. You mustn't stay awake, do an all-nighter. Just stay fresh, stay consistent, and yeah, that's perfectly like the best plan to do it. All right, so MCAT this year, I don't think I mentioned this before in this video. Like, sample papers are also available on the website this year, and on top of that, MCAT this time around is happening at a center on a computer or on a tablet. It's an online MDCAT at a center. So it's not a question, it's rather a discussion of us. I just wanted to discuss, do you think it will be successful? Yeah, how, like, because I just hope, okay, every year there's always a problem, you know, it's a tradition at this point.
Yeah, so, PMC scores.
PMDC / PMDC, former PMDC. So do you think, do you hope, like, what's your thought on online exam at center?
So it's a progressive approach. Like, I would doubt कि PMC कैसे conduct करवा दिया. Like, there are certain points like human error reduce हो जाएगा, कि उसी time result मिल जाएगा. Like, I avoid कि within 30 minutes आपको result मिल जाएगा. अगर मैं होता तो मुझे result चाहिए होता foreign. Like, I'm that kind of guy. So it helps कि foreign result मिल जाए और human error reduce हो जाए. And then कि there was this thing जो पहले MCAT में बहुत सिखाई जाती थी कि don't miss a bubble, जो आपकी sheet होती है उस पे. If you miss a bubble तो पूरी आगे आपका sequence खराब हो जाता है और line गलत होती है. Online में I think you can change your answers and go back to question number 1 or question number 2. फिर आप उनको दोबारा से देख सकते हैं. Or even the answers like one click away. So it would be time saving क्योंकि इस बार physics भी बढ़ा दी गई है. So time management would be a major issue. तो इसमें ये time saving है, human error भी कम हो जाता है. और online is a progressive approach. मतलब मुझे तो अच्छा लग रहा था. अगर मैं होता मुझे तो खुशी होती कि मैं ऐसे कर दे.
And like you mentioned this word, human error. I 100% agree कि इस बार any form of human error, यानी पिछले साल तो for example paper used to leak because it was a physical paper, लेकिन इस साल hopefully नहीं होगा because it's online.
But there's this thing कि इतने सारे papers जो बनाएंगे, so they have to maintain the standard paper. कि difficulty level क्या होगा? Question bank. They would need a lot of MCQs for that. और MCQs का difficulty level same होगा. Now people would complain कि उस दिन paper आसान आया था, इस दिन paper tough आया था तो मेरे marks नहीं आए. Like ये पहले भी जब हमारे time पे there was a separate paper for some people जो COVID positive थे. So people complaining कि उनका paper easy आया था, so that's why they got into medical colleges और हम नहीं हुआ. So I think ये हो सकता है शायद अगर PMC अगर standard maintain नहीं करती तो.
Or on top of that, if God forbid PMC decides to recycle the same paper, here it's a very problem because then people are going to be saying, okay, I had that question as well. So yeah, maybe hopefully the question bank is massive. Okay, if they're conducting a paper every day or every other day, पूरे पाकिस्तान में, not only in Karachi but Karachi, Punjab, Balochistan, internationally 5 cities में they're conducting the exam, so it has to be huge, the question banks. I agree. So yeah, all right, so let's move on to the second last discussion point, and that is how so Abbas, you are in AKU, you got into AKU, you took the AKU entry test. So did you think your MCAT prep supplemented AKU's prep, or was it the other way around?
So basically, I was preparing for MDCAT while I gave my AKU test. So many AKU के लिए separate तैयारी नहीं की थी. It was the basic MCAT stuff, or like for maths, I did SAT1 books, SAT1 MCQs, okay, not books, or for logical reasoning, I saw the sample paper and like I did that thinking skills thing, जो सारे AKU के recommend करते थे. And there was another book called AKU Preparation by Dover's publisher, उसको देख लिया था for paper pattern. But like मैंने AKU के लिए कुछ तैयारी नहीं की थी. I was preparing for MDCAT. I was like इसी के अंदर से AKU का syllabus है. So if I get my concepts right, तो मेरे से AKU वाला paper भी हो जाएगा. And in the end वो हुआ, like when I felt the paper was tough, लेकिन MCAT की वजह से हो गया था.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, I feel it's very debatable which syllabus is more extensive. Lekin I think this साल AQ's entry test syllabus is quite more extensive than the PMC. So it would probably be the other way around. Yani, preparing for your AKU test will supplement your MCAT prep. Yeah, but like Abbas said, if you're studying Punjab board from day one, it could be the opposite, and Punjab board prep could supplement your AKU. Yeah, so that's very well well said. So I think we can end the video soon. So just before I end the video, I just want to ask, is there any last tips, tricks, any recommendation if you were to refer to a junior, a personal, a cousin of yours, what would you recommend that you would also recommend our viewers?
So I would say that, as I previously mentioned, be consistent, be determined, be focused. These are the key points for MDCAT. Further, you have to shortlist the syllabus. Like many physics study kiya tha, but not for biology or chemistry. Like most of the people do in Punjab के shortlist कर लेते हैं, क्योंकि इनमें जब आप revise करोगे, you can revise like 2 books of intermediate in a single day. So आपको shortlist करना पड़ेगा सब कुछ, ताकि एक ही पेज से आप गुजर जाएं. Like for physics, I wrote down formulas and stuff. लेकिन आखिरी डे पे, like for the last day, just revise those simple points, important points, high yield stuff. Don't go into details क्योंकि वो ज़्यादा confused होंगे. And maintain your sleep routine वगैरह, और उसको upside down ना करें. Go with the flow, inshallah सब अच्छा हो जाएगा.
I agree. I think on that note, I will end the video. And Abbas, thank you so much for being on the video. I really appreciate it. It was really fun talking to you. It was really nice talking to you. And I really hope the audience learn and get something out of this video, because that's the whole purpose of the channel. So thank you so much for watching. Abbas, if there's anything you want to thank the audience or whatever. Or
I would say that thank you, Amir, for having me.
Oh,
and I would say anyone, the viewers can contact me. I'm here to guide you all. Or जब भी मेरे DM में कोई भी आ सकता है, I'll guide him.
So I will definitely link our Instagram. I'll link Abbas's Instagram down below. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.